ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you being here.
Testing the game.
Let's go. No BS, OBS, camera zoomed in, and the chat is lit. Stay tuned in. Zach Morris got detention like the cool kids. I do's this, homie. I thought you knew this. If you didn't, now you do. I had to prove it. Thanks for watching. What's everybody's favorite topic? Leave a comment in the chat and please
refrain from gossip.
Stop it. If you hating, there's no debating. Promise, I'm going up like Hakeem. I can't wait to block you. Sorry, nah, dog, cause this a party. Get your popcorn ready. We about to get it started. I'm super grateful. Thank you all for being with me. How we looking? Am I good?
Sitting pretty.
I'm elated that you would take time to kick it with me. And I ain't famous, so I'm grateful for the subs you gifting. Shout out to Shadow. I know my guy is always listening, and I appreciate the bits. Fire emoji pimpin'. Let's get it. I'ma give you what you came to see. Just hit that follow button for me, and we can proceed. An OG, Child's High, class of 03. Shout out to everybody back home and those that's in the stream. I love you. Let's go. Uh-oh. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to continue yesterday's book reading. But before we do, let's just hang out for a minute, huh? Let's just hang out. I gave you a little teaser there. I must have hit the wrong button on the stream deck. That's the truth. Still getting my sea legs up under me. But we're back, and we've got at least 2 people in the chat. So thank you both for being here. And as it turns out, the 2 of you that I can see, I know that it's super early where you are. So I'm elated. Let's just hang out. Yeah, for sure. I got my Twitch purple on today. Got the little, it's actually like a lavender. It's not really the Twitch, but with the ambiance and aesthetic. And because it is kind of sort of Easter weekend, there's a special Easter egg in this live stream. Now, I'm not going to tell you what it is. That's what makes it an Easter egg. You kind of have to find it or make it happen yourselves. But hopefully, if one or more of you do the action that's required, something cool should happen on screen. We're going to see. We're going to find it out together. But I did that for y'all for Easter. So there you go. We're back. It's Friday. And because of the Easter holiday, I have the privilege of being with you on a weekday again, which is uncommon because more often than not, I can't. I'm working. But I'm here. You're here. Thank you. And I mean that sincerely. Let's give it up for the chat. One of these. Meow, meow. So yeah, wake up. Start your day. I've got my cup of coffee. Coffee talk. Shout out to Russell Edling. If you ever see this, I still think of you and coffee. It's just an inside thing, but those that know. This is actually my, 3rd or 4th cup. It's 11 a.m. where I am, and for anybody in Norway tuning in, thank you for being here. Good day. Good dog. Claps. There it is. You see the Easter egg. If you missed it, do it again. You can see it for yourself. Just a little bit of whimsy in it. I'm all about that. I'm actually looking at the possibility of adding like an avatar to the stream, to the live section anyway, to make it a bit more fun and engaging. I don't know how anybody feels about that. I'm on the fence. On the one hand, it's been done. On the other hand, it could be cute and fun. And then the question becomes, well, what avatar do we go with? I'm thinking about a little gingerbread man, as a matter of fact, because he's free and he's got like headphones on and I think he dances. So if that's of any interest to anybody, let me know. We can explore that together. I saw a clip of Mr. Beast yesterday, and for those that don't know, Mr. Beast arguably is one of the most successful YouTubers ever. And I say this because not only has he amassed a great deal of followers, his videos consistently get like millions of views, but just the way in which he went about doing it. He like studied what made a successful YouTube video and he implemented that. But the takeaway from the message that I received yesterday was that First of all, your first 10 or 20 videos are going to be terrible. Don't expect any views. That's what it is. He says make 100 videos and then talk to him. And if you implement this strategy of doing a little bit more every time, make it just a little bit better, then eventually you'll get there. And so that's what I'm trying to do. Thank you for the compliment. Appreciate you. And welcome to the chat. So yeah, doing a little bit every day or every time and making it just that much better, ultimately you'll be successful, or so he says. And I happen to agree with that. My problem and tendency is that I have a desire to be all the way live immediately, but it doesn't work like that. Yesterday, one of the takeaways, having rewatched the VOD, was that of the process. There's that Easter egg. Part of the process, enjoying the journey. You know, the journey is the destination. The prize is the process, or the process is the prize. So I'm trying to embody that. I'm trying to eat my own recipe, if you will. Does he have Easter eggs? No. So hopefully you've been observing the Easter egg. So an Easter egg in the gaming world is something secret or hidden that you can find or unlock. Typically, it's something that developers of a game would include it's kind of like a wink. You know what I mean? And the Easter egg, because of Easter, for you all in the chat, is that when you spam the emotes like that, you get to see them now appearing on screen on the live. And the more you add, the more you see. So have fun with that. I think it's cute, and I hope you have fun doing it. So that's it. It's just something silly, but that's what an Easter egg is. But no, the Easter bunny doesn't make it all the way up this north, I'm afraid. Not at my house anyway. But that's all right. I'll share because shout out to my mom. She's in the chat today. I see Chooch. And we gave you a shout out yesterday. I hope you heard that. But growing up, my mother told me there are 2 days of year. Okay, there are 2 days a year where you can do anything. You can have as much candy as you want. You can do just about anything you want. And those 2 days were Christmas and Easter. So Easter was a big deal at our house. And in fact, I shouldn't be telling you all this, but I'm gonna keep it real. We used to love to hide and hunt for Easter eggs. That was kind of the tradition. So we would wake up in the morning and the Easter bunny had been there, and we would go outside and we would find all the Easter eggs. This tradition carried on well into my teens, I'm afraid. I was probably like 14 years old out in the front yard looking for eggs, which is probably a little older than I should have been. But hey, we enjoyed doing it and we loved it. And thank you, Mom, for always making Easter that special. As we grew up and we got older, the Easter tradition began to be brunch at my mom's house. And oftentimes we would invite the friends and the homies, and they would all come through and love it. And so I think Shadow's been to the house and had Easter brunch, and certainly Chooch's cooking is amazing. I think the fan favorite for Easter brunch are these special French toasts. And I think it's like cornmeal or cornflakes. You do the French toast thing. You stack them up, make like a mini sandwich. I think sometimes there's peanut butter in the middle, sometimes not. But then you wrap them in like cornflakes and you bake them. So when they come out, they're like extra crispy. It's a whole thing. But shout out to Mom for always making Easter so special. Hand clap for that. For sure. And I'm sad I can't be with you this year, but that's all right. We're here. We're here in spirit. You know what I mean? Cornflakes indeed. Yep. So there you go. I remember one year I had like white sweatpants. I had a white hoodie. It wasn't intentional, but I came out when everybody was there and they were like, "Look at Jesus, ladies and gentlemen. He's cosplaying." But it wasn't meant to be that. But that then became a running joke. So Easter. Yep. All right, the reason why we're all here, I think and hope, is because we're gonna pick up where we left off. All right, I got a bit of feedback yesterday, and thank you for those that were in attendance, and thank you for those that gave some notes. I take it to heart, and again, my objective is to make this thing entertaining and fun for all of us. And so if there's anything ever that I can do to improve or make it cooler, I want to do that. So I'm not shy. I'll tell you. The one major note that I received as far as maybe criticism or suggested improvement was that of slowing down. And I fully recognize, I'll be honest, I was a little nervous yesterday. I'm a little nervous now, if I'm being candid. You know, when we start these things, that live intro, it always feels like, okay, don't mess up. And I did mess up yesterday, as a matter of fact. So I feel like, all right, we messed up. We dealt with that. We got it out the way. We recovered decently. So it's all good. And nobody really cares or, you know, is seeing this. Hot tub stream, shout out.
That's what she said.
I don't know if that applies, but that's funny. So we do have a hot tub at the house, but never done that before. That would be fun. Anyway. So I get nervous because I don't ever want to be imperfect. I want to be excellent always. And so it's just what I deal with. So when I'm reading, I want to hit every word. I don't want to mispronounce. Some of the names are a bit tough. I want to make sure I'm being as accurate as I can. And then I want to try to use a little bit of my acting chops to give you some voices and some feelings. So long story long, when people are nervous and they're speaking, typically they speed it up. And I think we can all relate to that. So I've heard the masses. We're going to slow it down just a little bit. And I think that'll be great for all of us. One, hopefully you'll be able to hear and digest and savor. Could I say that? Savor the words a bit more. And me, perhaps it'll give me a bit of breath and allow me to ensure that the words that I'm saying are just as they're written. So that's what I'm going to try today. So without further ado, we can get into this thing. I have intended to read chapter 3, which is again where we left off. And we'll pick everybody up to speed for anybody that might be watching and didn't see or listen to the chapters yesterday. I'm confident that at some point you're probably going to need to know the story in order to progress. So without further ado, let's do it. Yeah? Here we go. Come on, baby. Oh, now you don't want to change scenes on me, huh? Okay. Well, guess what? Just a little lag there. That's all right. Let's fix this mood lighting. And we knew there was going to be a delay on the snap. I should have hit it, then snapped. All right. That's what you get. That's what you get for trying to be cute, right? And with that, we're back. All right, so let's pick everybody up just a little bit. So first of all, I wasn't expecting the preface that we got, and I won't go into grave detail, but it was very steamy, huh? And I think that maybe set a tone for the kind of book that we're getting into. Yeah, I think of Geralt as a strapping, handsome man, so it makes sense that he would gain favor from perhaps the ladies of the realm. And as the story kicks off, Geralt visits a town and a tavern. And at first he's keeping it low key. You know, he's just doing his thing. He goes into the bar, not the one that's popping, mind you, the one that's kind of more low key down the way. And he gets a drink at the bar, and then some, ne'er-to-do's, they start some shit with Geralt, right? They basically tell him that he's not wanted there, and they pick a fight. Well, he makes short work of those three gentlemen. My guy. And then he's escorted to what I interpret as like the lord of the town, or perhaps like the sheriff. I don't really know what the guy's title is or why, but that's irrelevant. Think of him as like an authority in the town. And this was all kind of pre-planned, mind you. He intended to have this meeting, though he didn't pick the fight. I think Geralt's a good guy. And so he's having conversation with the authority in the town. And he shows him this parchment, or this leather marking, which happens to be a sign or a call to action for individuals to take up this quest. And what we learn is that I think the king, who might have naturally would have formerly been a prince, had a daughter, and he had a daughter with his sister. Ooh. Anyway, the daughter is somehow cursed, and she's known to be what's called a Striga. And a Striga, I don't know what it is exactly, but I'm interpreting it to be some kind of demon. They actually kind of describe it like a werewolf. And I think protocol is that they should have killed the child, but due to her being a princess or whatever, they didn't. And so she's now living in a sarcophagus under the palace. But she's kind of a beast or a monster, or she turns into one or whatever, and she's going on a killing spree. So this creature, this monster, is killing folks. And over the course of like 7 years, people have come to the palace to try to, I don't know, tame or slay the beast. Ultimately, there's a reward. You're supposed to cure this princess so that she returns to her normal self, and then the king is happy and everybody wins. But that's not what's happened. And so basically, Geralt's in town to handle this business, and I don't think he cares whether she makes it or not. And he's cold. So at the end of the conversation in yesterday's chapters, he basically negotiates the rate, and he's, I think he says a number, the other guy comes back and he's like, nah, there's other witchers that have come, and that was yesterday's price. Yesterday's price is not today's price. That's a Fat Joe quote. So that's basically where we left off. I hope that pretty much sums it. And so here we go. Let's get into it. Let's see what Geralt and friends have to do today. Foltest. That's how it begins. Foltest, I think, is the king for reference. Here we go. Foltest was slim and had a too pretty face. He was under 40, the Witcher thought. The king was sitting on a dwarf armchair carved from black wood. His legs stretched out toward the earth, where 2 dogs were warming themselves. Next to him, on a chest, sat an older, powerfully built man with a beard. Behind the king stood another man, richly dressed and with a proud look on his face. A magnate. "A witcher from Rivia," said the king, after the moment's silence which fell after Valorad's introduction. "Yes, your majesty." Geralt lowered his head. "What made your hair so gray? Magic? I can see that you're not old." "That was a joke. Say nothing. You've had a fair amount of experience, I dare presume?" "Yes, your majesty." "I would love to hear about it." Geralt bowed even lower. "Your majesty, you know our code of practice forbids us to speak our work." "A convenient code, Witcher. Very convenient. But tell me, have you had anything to do with Spriggans?" "Yes." "Vampires? Leish?" "Those 2. Foltest hesitated. "Strigas?" Geralt raised his head, looking the king in the eye. "Yes." Foltest turned his eyes away. "Valorad!" "Yes, gracious majesty." "Have you given him the details?" "Yes, your gracious majesty. He says the spell cast on the princess can be reversed." "I have known that for a long time." "How, Witcher?" "Oh, of course, I forgot. Your code of practice." "All right. I will make one small comment. Several Witchers have been here already, Velerad, have you told him? Good. So I know that your specialty is to kill rather than to reverse spells. This isn't an option. If one hair falls from my daughter's head, your head will be on the block. That is all. Ostrit, Lord Segalin, stay and give him all of the information he requires. Witchers always ask a lot of questions. Feed him and let him stay in the palace. He is not to drift from tavern to tavern. The king rose, whistled to his dogs, and made his way to the door, scattering the straw covering the chamber floor. At the door, he paused. If you succeed, Witcher, the reward is yours. Maybe I'll add a little something if you do well. Of course, the nonsense spread by common folk about marrying the princess carries not a word of truth. I'm sure you don't believe I would give my daughter's hand to a stranger. No, Your Majesty, I don't. Good. That shows you have some wisdom. Foltest left, closing the door behind him. Velerad and the magnate, who had been standing all the while, immediately sat at the table. The castellan finished the king's half-full cup, peered into the jug, and cursed. Ostrit, who took Foltest's chair, scowled at the Witcher while he stroked the carved armrests. Segalin, the bearded man, nodded at Geralt. Do sit, Witcher. Do sit. Supper will soon be served. What would you like to know? Castellan Velerad has probably already told you everything. I know him. He has sooner told you too much than too little. Only a few questions. Ask. The Castellan said that after the Striga's appearance, the king called up many knowing ones. That's right, but don't say Striga, say princess. It makes it easier to avoid making a mistake in the king's presence, and any consequent unpleasantness. Was there anyone well known among the knowing ones? Anyone famous? There were such, then and later. I don't remember the names. Do you, Lord Ostrit? I don't recall, said the magnate. But I know some of them enjoyed fame and recognition. There was much talk of it. Were they in agreement that the spell can be lifted? They were far from any agreement, smiled Segalin, on any subject. But such an opinion was expressed. It was supposed to be simple, not even requiring magical abilities. As I understand it, it would suffice for someone to spend the night, from sunset to the third crowing of the cock, by the sarcophagus. Simple indeed, snorted Velerad. I would like to hear a description of the princess. Velerad leapt up from his chair. The princess looks like a Striga, he yelled. Like most Striga I've ever heard of. Her Royal Highness, the cursed royal bastard, is 4 cubits high, shaped like a barrel of beer, has a maw which stretches from ear to ear and is full of dagger-like teeth, has red eyes and a red mop of hair. Her paws, with claws like a wildcat's, hang down to the ground. I'm surprised we've yet to send her likeness to friendly courts. The princess, plague choke her,
is already 14. Time to think of giving her hand to a prince in marriage.
Hold on, Valorad, frowned Ostrit, glancing at the door. Segolin smiled faintly.
The description, although vivid, is reasonably accurate. And that's what you wanted, isn't it, Witcher? Valorad didn't mention that the princess moves with incredible speed and is far stronger for her height and build than one would expect. And she is 14 years of old, if that is of any importance.
It is, said the Witcher. Do the attacks on people only occur during the full moon?
Yes, smiled Segolin. If she attacks beyond the old palace. Within the palace walls, people always die, irrespective of the moon's phase. But she only ventures out during the full moon, and not always then.
Has there been even one attack during the day?
No.
Does she always devour her victims?
Valorad spat vehemently on the straw. Come on, Geralt. It'll be supper soon. Psh. Devours, takes a bite, leaves a side. It varies. According to her mood, no doubt. She only bit the head from one, gutted a couple, and a few more she picked clean to the bone. Sucked them dry, you could say. Damned mothers. Careful, Valorad, snarled Ostrit. Say what you want about the Striga, but do not insult Ada in front of me, as you would not dare to in the king's presence.
Has anyone she attacked survived? The Witcher asked, apparently paying no special attention to the magnate's outburst.
Segolin and Ostrit looked at each other. Yes, said the bearded man. At the very beginning. 7 years ago, she threw herself at 2 soldiers standing guard over the crypt. One escaped. And then, interrupted Valorad, there was another. The miller she attacked near the town, you remember? And that's chapter 3. Oh! Well, chat, how we feeling? Shall we continue? Everybody's speechless. There's Shadow with the claps. I like the emotes, ladies and gentlemen. The Easter egg doesn't work on this scene, I'm afraid. All right, yes, indeed, we say. Right on, right on. Good news is, chapter 4... I like that the chapters aren't so long, because I like that it provides us with an opportunity to breathe. Don't stop thinking. All right, the fans want it. We're going to give it to you. Without further ado, how's he doing? Is he reading all right? Let me know. While I'm reading, I can't check the chat, so here we go. Chapter 4. The following day, late in the evening, the miller was brought to the small chamber above the guardhouse allocated to the Witcher. He was led in by a soldier in a hooded coat. The conversation did not yield any significant results. The miller was terrified. He mumbled and stammered, and his scars told the Witcher more than he did. The Striga could open her jaws impressively wide and had extremely sharp teeth, including very long upper fangs, 4 of them, 2 on each side. Her claws were sharper than a wildcat's, but less curved, and it was only because of that the miller had managed to tear himself away. Having finished his examination, Geralt nodded to the miller and the soldier, dismissing them. The soldier pushed the peasant through the door and lowered his hood. It was Foltest himself. "Sit. Do not get up," said the king. "This visit is unofficial. Are you happy with the interview?" I heard you were at the palace this morning. Yes, Your Majesty. When will you set out about your task? It is 4 days until the full moon. After that. You prefer to have a look at her yourself beforehand? There is no need. But having her fill the princess will be less active. Striga, Master Witcher. Striga. Let us not play at diplomacy. She will be a princess afterwards. And that is what I have come to talk to you about. Answer me unofficially, brief and clearly. Will it work or not? Don't hide behind your code. Geralt rubbed his brow. I confirm, Your Majesty, that the spell might be reversed, and, unless I am mistaken, it can be done by spending the night at the palace. The third crowing of the cock, as long as it catches the Striga outside her sarcophagus, will end the spell. That is what is usually done with Strigas. So simple? It's not simple. First, you have to survive the night. Then, there are exceptions to the rule. For example, not 1 night, but 3, consecutively. There are also cases which are, well, hopeless. Yes, Foltest bristled. I keep hearing that from some people. Kill the monster because it's an incurable disease. Master Witcher, I am sure they have already spoken to you. Am I right? Hack the man-eater to death without any more fuss, at the beginning, and tell the king nothing else will be done. I won't pay, but they will. Very convenient. And cheap. Because the king will order the Witcher beheaded or hanged, and the gold will remain in their pockets. The king unconditionally orders the Witcher to be beheaded? Geralt grimaced. Foltest looked the Rivian in the eyes for a long while. The king does not know, he finally said. But the Witcher should bear such an eventually in mind. Geralt was silent for a moment. I intend to do what is in my power to do, he said. But if it goes badly, I will defend my life, Your Majesty. But you must also be prepared for such an eventuality. Foltest got up. You do not understand me. It's obvious you'll kill her if it becomes necessary, whether I like it or not. Because otherwise, she'll kill you, surely, and inevitably. I won't punish anyone who kills her in self-defense. But I will not allow her to be killed without trying to save her. There have already been attempts to set fire to the old palace. They shot at her with arrows. They dug pits. They set traps and snares. Until I hung a few of her attackers. But that's not the point. Witcher, listen. I'm listening. After the third crowing of the cock, there will be no Striga, if I understand correctly. What will there be? If all goes well, a 14-year-old girl. With red eyes and crocodile's teeth? A normal 14-year-old girl. Except that, well, physically. I see. And mentally? Every day a bucket of blood for breakfast? A little girl's thigh, perhaps? No. Mentally, there is no telling. On the level, I think, a 3 or 4-year-old child. She'll require loving care for a long while. That's obvious. Witcher, I'm listening. Can it happen to her again? Later on? Geralt was silent. Aha, said the king. It can. And what then? Should she die after a long swoon lasting several days? Her body will have to be burned quickly. Foltest grew gloomy. I do not think it will come to that, added Geralt. Just to be sure, I will give you some instructions, Your Majesty, to lessen the danger. Right now? Is it not too soon, Master Witcher? And if... Right now, interrupted the Rivian. Many things may happen, Your Majesty. It could be that you'll find a princess in the morning, the spell already broken, and my corpse. Even so, despite my permission for you to defend yourself? Which, it seems, wasn't that important to you. This is a very serious matter, Your Majesty. The risk is great. That is why you must listen. The princess should always wear a sapphire around her neck. Or better, an inclusion on a silver chain, day and night. What is an inclusion? A sapphire with a pocket of air trapped within the stone. Aside from that, every now and then, you should burn juniper, broom, and aspen in the fireplace of her chamber. Foltest grew pensive. I thank you for your advice, Witcher. I will pay heed if... And now listen to me carefully. If you find the case is hopeless, kill her. If you undo the spell, but the girl is not normal, if you have a shadow of doubt as to whether you have been entirely successful at all, kill her. Do not worry. You have nothing to fear from me. I'll shout at you in front of the others, banish you from the palace and the town, but nothing more. Of course, I won't give you the reward, but maybe you'll manage to negotiate something from you-know-who. They were both quiet for a while. Geralt? For the first time, Foltest called the Witcher by his name. Yes? How much truth is there in the rumor that the child is as she is because Ada was my sister? Not much. A spell has to be cast. They don't cast themselves. But I think your congress with your sister was the reason the spell was cast. And this is the result. As I thought, that is what some of the knowing ones said, although not all of them. Geralt, where do such things come from? Spells, magic? I don't know, Your Majesty. Knowing ones study the causes of such phenomena. For us witchers, the knowing that the concentrated will cause such phenomena is quite enough. That and the knowledge to fight them. And kill them, usually. Besides, that is what we're usually paid for. Only a few demand the reversal of spells, Your Majesty. As a rule, people simply want to defend themselves from danger. If the monster has men on its conscience, then revenge can also come into play. The king got up, took a few paces around the chamber, and stopped in front of the witch's sword hanging on the wall. What's this? He asked, not looking at Geralt. No, that is for men. So I heard. Do you know what, Geralt? I'm going to the crypt with you. Out of the question. Foltest turned. His eyes glinted. Do you know, sorcerer, that I have not seen her? Neither after she was born nor later. I was afraid. I may never see her, am I not right? At least I have the right to see my daughter while you're murdering her. I repeat, it's out of the question. It is certain death, for me as well as you. If my attention, my will falters, no, your majesty. Foltest turned away, started towards the door. For a moment, Geralt thought he would leave without a word, without a parting gesture. But the king stopped and looked at him. You inspired trust, he said. Although I know what a rogue you are. I was told what happened at the tavern. I'm sure you killed those thugs solely for word to spread, to shock people, to shock me. It's obvious that you could have dealt with them without killing. I'm afraid I'll never know whether you're going there to save my daughter or to kill her. But I agree to it. I have to agree. Do you know why? Geralt did not reply. Because I think, said the king, I think that she is suffering. Am I not right? The Witcher fixed his penetrating eyes on the king. He didn't confirm it, didn't nod, didn't make the slightest gesture. But Foltest knew. He knew the answer. Gang! Oh. And that, ladies and germs, is The Witcher. How do we feel? And why do these buttons not work when I hit them? Hey! We're back. We're back live, hanging out. Loved it. Thank you.
We testing the game.
Why? My stream deck is acting crazy today.
Oh yeah.
That's all right, though. I'm glad you loved it. Need more. Well, not today. That's what tomorrow's for.
Far too kind. Thank you. Far too kind.
That's what was supposed to happen instead of the stream change. It's a strange story for Good Friday, is it? I think just like the Good Friday stories that you might be used to, full of magic and resurrection, this is similar to that. We can talk about that if you want. Here's what's interesting. I don't think people really appreciate. I'm going to go deep on y'all. Here we go. You asked for it, you got it. Bang. There's a delay. I hate that. Anyway, Easter, right? Obviously, there's religious connotation here. I think the story goes that Jesus Christ was crucified and then he resurrected, right? And that's kind of what Easter's all about to some people, the resurrection. But the kind of the mascots of Easter are the Easter bunny, and then there's all these eggs that we hide, but rabbits don't lay eggs. So what's that all about? Well, it's really about fertilization and the beginning of new life, because rabbits are known to procreate. There are sayings about that. And eggs and womb and new life, childbearing, etc. So to me, that's kind of what we should be celebrating. And it's no coincidence that it's held at the beginning of spring, right? Again, new life, new beginnings. But funny that, I don't know, the way the calendars sync up and the way it all kind of aligns, to me, it's not what it should be. Here's a thought. I believe that there should be 13 months rather than 12. And I'll defend this for you in a way, if I may.
And I won't go into all the conspiracy as to why the calendars have changed. I'll let you kind of do that on your own. But appreciate this. If you just break it down based on what the names of the months are, they don't really match up. Okay? Let's start with September. Sept meaning like 7, right? But September doesn't fall on the 7th month. It's the 9th month. Okay? So 7 September, October, Oct is 8, okay? November, Nov is 9, and then December, Deci is 10. So if you just do that, 7, 8, 9, 10, but they don't fall on the appropriate timeline. Why is that? Well, there were changes. Something else to note. In some cultures, the earth is depicted on being on a turtle's back. And when you look at a turtle shell, there are so many days and then there are so many months that make up the pattern of the shell. There were other calendars, absolutely. We're talking about Gregorian, but my point being is that it was all changed up. And now we're rocking on this weird timeline where we have so many days in a month. Some months have 31, some have 28. I think they should all have 28. There should be 31 of them, and then there's one more day for like the reset of the process. And so I'm going to leave you with that. And that's what I got for you on this Easter. But look into that. Look into the turtle and the shell and the months. And why are they named the way they are, but they don't line up? There was another month once. It got removed. And I'm not convinced that it doesn't have something to do with all this religious context. Yeah, I mean. But yes, Good Friday. God fredag. I hope you enjoyed the read. I did. And who thought of the candy? I don't know. It's probably the same marketers that came up with Santa Claus on Coca-Cola. Yeah? Yeah, I don't know. But I'm glad they did. Who doesn't love candy? Smågott. Guttali. Yeah, today felt better as far as the pace. One of the things that's difficult for me as we read is these voices. I feel like this is my Geralt. I hope you dig him. And then everybody else just kind of gets the same tone and feeling. I wish that they told you, I don't know, yeah, this guy's Scottish. That I could pretend to do that, or do this one with a British accent. I suppose what I could do, I'm not going to, but I could read ahead and then like highlight the different characters and like give them all and practice that. But come on, people, we're all reading this together. I don't want to read it twice. I want to be surprised, just like you. Just like you. So, but I enjoyed it. I also don't know if you could hear it, but my stomach was growling during that. I was like, man, I'm hungry. And so I'm gonna probably close this thing out and get something to eat. We're approaching the hour mark anyway, and that's what we strive for. We're trying to hit an hour every time. Not really for any reason other than gotta rack up those hours somehow. Affiliate. Philly. So, and as I said at the start of this thing, I'm gonna try to do a little something every time if I can to improve. And I know one of the things that we came up with yesterday was maybe like a laugh sound effect, laugh track. And so I think I'm going to try to do that for you. So yeah, get a little laughter in here. Shake it up a bit. I don't know what else is going on. I don't know what y'all are doing. This was fun. Happy Easter. Brunch will be served at 11. I'll be there. I wish I could, man. I wish I could. But it sounds. What's on the menu? What are you chefing up this year? Anything extra special? I could guess, but it's probably all the classics. Is it just you and father? Is it just you and dad? If you're still there, let me know. There's probably a delay on the chat. I would love nothing more, as a matter of fact. New item on the menu. Well, tell us. Gunshot. Bang. Hit us with that. What is the new item on the menu, Chef Chucha? One of the running jokes that my mom and I talk about sometimes. I don't know what emoji that is, darling. That looks like some kind of tortilla. You making tortillas? But we talk about Beat Bobby Flay. Beat Bobby Flay. For those that don't know, Bobby Flay is like an American chef. I think he is, not like, he is an American chef. And he has a show on the Food Network, I think, where contestants come on and they prepare like a signature dish, okay? And they choose the dish, I think, and Bobby has to make their signature dish and they make theirs, and then they compete, and then there's like a taste test with judges, and if you win, you beat Bobby Flay. And so I believe, and I think she does too, my mom can do this. And I think, I don't want to speak for her, but I think her signature dish would be paella. She doesn't mean paella. Respect for that. Oh, Chooch, she says brunch this year is going to be donuts soaked in eggs and cream and then baked. Wow. Wow. Not the healthiest of food items, but it sounds delicious. Exquisite. That's my dish. See? Paella. She can do a lot of amazing things in the kitchen. Growing up, it wasn't always a win. And I don't mean to say that the food was bad. What I mean to say is when you're a kid, you don't want Gourmet Food and Wine magazine's recipe of the week, which could be kale, could be some kind of baked salmon with some who knows what. You really want the traditionals, I don't know, maybe meatloaf, mom, meatloaf. But later on in life, I deeply valued the amazing talents that she has in the kitchen. She's live with it, and she can make masterpieces out of nothing. And what's really cool is you go out to dinner. Well, two parts here. You go out to dinner and she says, I can make that. I know what's in this. I can make that. And honestly, I can't recall a time where she didn't. And then it's also kind of a sad note where now when you go out to dinner, particularly my dad, he'll be like, I don't know why we go out to dinner. You make better food at home. And sure enough, she does. So one more time, give it up for Chooch. How I wish I could be there for soaked donuts with baked soaked donuts. Call it that. Any particular type of donuts? Do you buy the donuts? Do you make them yourself? Now I have questions. Yeah, I meant that. Are these Dunkin' Donuts? Do you buy them pre-made? What are we, Krispy Kreme? What's happening here? Now I'm very curious about these donuts. I don't suspect you're boiling the oil and dropping the, I don't know, dough into the oil. That's not my suspicion. But could be. I mean, I don't put it past you. We do have a deep fryer and all that. I'm not sure. Anyway. You buy them at Dunkin'. There you go. They're cinnamon donuts. Bang. Okay, so you buy them at Dunkin'. Shout out. And I hope they're fresh, because sometimes the Dunkin' Donuts aren't as fresh, but sometimes they are. I wish there was a way to do Krispy Kreme, because Krispy Kreme has that neon sign that tells you bake fresh, but I think they're only glazed. So if you need something special, I guess Dunkin's the way. Plus Dunkin's right by the house. You got to get there early, but that won't be a problem for y'all. I know you like to wake up early. I wake up early most days, though I go to bed quite early. Somebody in the chat could probably attest to this. Thank you.
Thank you. Far too kind.
I need that laugh track. That's really what I'm missing. So I wake up early. I like to wake up nowadays around 6-ish, 5:45, depending on the day. So get up early, go to Dunkin', get your cinnamon donuts, and then you're going to soak them in eggs and cream and then bake them. Aren't they? I mean, I don't know what that's going to do. Did you find this recipe yourself, or it's a science experiment you're doing all on your own? Curious about this. Baked donuts. I mean, damn, why do you need to bake the donuts? Oh man, yep, I am for sure. I mean, as you get older, but watch this. I deeply value now the early morning wake up. It's an Oprah joint. Okay, well, shout out to Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey. Dang, the shooting sound is loud. All right, I don't think I can turn down each sound effects. What I could do is rebounce it, but that's the idea. It's supposed to be loud, baby. It's a gunshot. Welcome to America. This is America. That's what it's supposed to be. But gotta keep you on your toes. Gotta keep you on your toes. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with me today. For those that I don't see often, I miss you. And for those that I do, I miss you too. And The Witcher. Pretty decent. This was a good pick. I think we're having fun with this. I feel good about our selection, and I'm happy that it's panning out the way that it is. I hope you're enjoying it too. And we'll just keep it going, yeah? Reading is cool. And for you all, listening is cool too. Good Friday, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful day. For those that have to go to work, sorry. But enjoy your day. For those that are going on walks with friends, have a great walk. Enjoy that. And anybody else, I hope you have a wonderful day too. Not sure what I'm going to get into. I keep telling myself I'm going to start doing some music, but then something happens with the stream Twitch podcast thing. I'm like, oh, I got to download that, upload that, clip it for TikTok, promote it. But I'm having fun, and I hope you're having fun with me. So yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you for your participation. Thank you for listening. And I'm looking forward to the next one. Maybe we can do this again tomorrow. I'm not sure. Jim. I know. Me, likely. You're probably calling me out. Hey, man. I should for that. Do it. Yeah, I was invited to train with someone this morning, but I missed that boat. It's my body just doesn't respond well from morning workouts. I'm sorry. It just doesn't. Never has. I don't love it. She's going on her walk. I dig it. But you're right. It's important. I'm going to get back into it. For me, it's all about I'm a creature of habit. If I'm going to the gym, I like to stay going. Try to hit it every day if I can. If I'm not going to the gym, unfortunately, I'm not. But I'm gonna get back to it. Gotta stay right. Gotta stay svelte, as my pops would say. You svelte, boy. Anyway, Mom, give Dad my love when you see him. And that's it. I hope you all have a great day. Thank you again for watching. We're gonna do this again soon. Can't promise it'll be tomorrow, but perhaps. If one of you says you'd like it, I'll probably do it for you. And
That's what she
said. All right. On that note, I'm going to test the game and we're going to be up out of here. Thank you again. Love y'all.
We testing the game.
Peace.
Oh, yeah.